Hi everyone and welcome to a new DIY video. I have about like 2.5 hours before I have to go and pick up Johannes. Today is my last day at home. I have had some vacation and then tomorrow I start my new job and I am so excited. But nevertheless, I still have a few hours left that I figured I would spend with some hobby stuff and obviously spend with you guys. Yeah, since I don't have too long, I want to make a project that is not too difficult or needs too much space, and I figured I would actually make a bonnet. I have had my eye on a bonnet for a long time and I was thinking like maybe I should purchase one. Typically I just do my hair like in a pineapple when I sleep. For those of you who are not following at this point, I'm a curly girl. I have really curly hair, and curly girls protect their hair when they're sleeping, like with a pineapple or with a bonnet or with a silk scarf, or like different type methods to protect the hair or protect the curl pattern when we're sleeping. And yeah, I guess I've just been doing the pineapple so far, but I'm figuring that a bonnet would probably be a really good thing. Also, I love the DIY designer, so I'm gonna follow a tutorial of hers and I'm gonna link it down below. I'm gonna make that one that she's making, and then I'm gonna make an additional surprise thing. I'll show you later in the video. But yeah, let's take a look at some materials and get going. If you want to see how the pattern is made, just check Orly's video out because it's really good. But I figured I would show you mine because I made some adjustments to it. She has really long hair, but she also doesn't have curly hair, and my hair is curly, so it will probably need a little bit more space. That's why I altered this one to be 11 inches. I also went with the curve, like where the curve is going, at 7.5 inches. And then for the long part, I went with 14 inches, which is a little bigger than she has. This line that you see in the middle is the one you'll use if you want to do the bonnet in 2 colors. I'm just gonna do it in 1 fabric, but if you want to do it in 2, I still marked it out. She explains it really well, so just take a look at that one. I also have some elastic, I have my pins, I have my fabric scissor. This is the pinking shears that I talked about in a previous video, the one where I did the wrap skirt. I do think, however, that I'm gonna try and do some French seams today. I hadn't heard about French seams before. How? I don't know, because it seems genius, especially since I don't like overlocking. But I'm gonna try and do that today as well. And then lastly, the fabric. I did not have any silk fabric. Silk fabric is quite expensive. I do think that I'll buy some silk someday, but then it will probably be for a blouse or something else. So I decided to go with this like viscose fabric. I've done a blouse in this fabric before, and it's a really nice silky smooth one, so I think it will do the trick just the same. If you want the specifications, I have them here. It is woven satin red, so yeah, polyester. Let's cut out the piece. Just one thing to mention, this is also cut on a fold. Let's get to it. So I have my fold on the fabric right there. I'm gonna place it out. And I'm gonna be nice to mention that Orly also mentions when you're dealing with like satin or dealing with silk, it's really slippery and it will like slide out of your hands, so use a lot of pins. But yeah, let's cut the pieces.
Negativity is getting closer. Hard to keep the heat when it gets colder, you know. Sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker.
Okay guys, so here is my fold piece. The fold goes like on the middle of the pattern. So this is the fold piece when it's cut. And what we're gonna start by doing is actually sewing this seam right here. Because I'm gonna do a French seam, I'm just first gonna do it with the right sides together, and then I'm gonna flip it and sew it with the wrong sides together so we get a really nice closing on the inside. I'm gonna show you that later, but I'm just gonna start by sewing this stitch right here all the way, and then I'm gonna fold it inside out, and I'm gonna sew it again to create that nice French seam. Once I have done that, it will be time to add the elastic, but we'll get to that later. I'll show you once I have done the French seam and once I've done the casing for the elastic. I'll get back to you.
I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark, maybe just a better kind of bitter. Lose gravity, I'm swimming in the quicksand, up to my knees. Keep loose and sleep, I'm at extreme at midnight. So hard to please. Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Hard to keep the heat when it gets colder, you know. Sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the lower, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark, and maybe just a better kind of bitter.
Okay guys, I have sewn the top seam, and then I've also made the casing for the elastic. When I did the top seam, I did the French seam like I said. So I started by the wrong sides facing and then right sides facing to get like that seam hidden. And it looks perfect on the outside. And then I also did the casing all the way around. I just pressed the edge a bit, and then I sewed the edge into the casing because I want this to be like super clean. It's gonna be like on my hair, and if you turn it outside in, I want it to be like super pretty. I don't know why, I just do. Yeah, for the casing, I just left like this tiny space open between those two so that I can get the elastic through. So I'm gonna measure that up, but first I'm just gonna check Orly's video again to see what the next step is, because we're both gonna do an elastic in the back and we're gonna do some pleating in the front. So I'm gonna get caught up on that and then I will get back to you. Okay, so like in Orly's video, we're not gonna put in the elastic yet. We're gonna start with the pleating of this part, like this section. She also says that about 1.5 inches from the bottom there are no pleats. So I'm gonna start marking that out just like she did. And therefore I have a pin with like a color so I know to not pleat beyond this point. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna start pleating these like all the way down to make it pretty.
Sometimes all you need is a spark, and maybe just a better kind of bitter. No.
measure my elastic, just like Orly. I don't want it to be too snug, but I do want it to be safe in place when I'm sleeping. This is something I didn't think I would be doing, but okay. Yeah, so I think somewhere like this long. And then I'm just gonna sew that together once we have dragged it through the casing for the elastic. And I'm gonna do that now. I like to use a big safety pin when it comes to stuff like this, because I just feel like it's the easiest. So I have that in place, and now I'm going to run it through my little extra hole that I left earlier, and once we are through the whole casing, we can close it. Okay guys, I'm a little bit further. I'm actually closing in on the end, but I figured I would just show you where I am at. So the bottom part right here, that's the back of the bonnet. It's also where the pleats are, and at the front, so your forehead, the design that Orly does and that I'm doing also has a like a little band like on your forehead. She measures out like 8 inches up, so I've done that. I've measured from this end and 8 inches up along the front seam that you have on your forehead, and then I've also made this little flap. It's just a tube that I've sewn with a straight stitch and then iron flat or pressed flat, so it looks nice like this. When pinning it on, make sure that you pin it like, you know, away from the elastic at the bottom. So you pin it like this, because we're gonna then fold up this part, sew that together, and then we're gonna put this one around it so it looks nice, clean, and finished. So just remember to do that, pin it like away like this, and then now I'm gonna sew this little part right here, and then I'm gonna just fold up all the excess fabric all the way up to my little band. All of that fabric I'm just gonna sew. So I'm just gonna sew it like this to get it together, and once that is done, I'm then gonna fold this over and attach the last part of the band. And when that is done, it will look, yeah, something like this. But I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna show you the finished result, and yeah, I'm quite excited. I think it looks quite nice so far. So I haven't forgotten the surprise, so the surprise will be there in just a few seconds. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. So I've sewn in this stitch right here for the flap. I gathered the fabric together, making sure to follow the seam to make it straight. And then I just did 2 stitches like right here, or like 2 seams on each side of the elastic and the front, because this is a bit thick to sew through, I think. So I just did a few stitches here and there to make the gathers keep in place. Now I'm just gonna fold this over, and then I'm gonna measure out, like, yeah, how much of it do I really need. I think I'm gonna cut it somewhere like there, and then I'm gonna fold that edge in and just hand sew it together, and we're done. And then we're gonna move on to the little extra project. the bonnet is done and I'm gonna show you that in a second. But first, as promised, the surprise. You know those like heatless curl things that you can buy that are super smart? I can put in a picture right here. No hate for anyone who's bought one. I considered it myself. But looking at them, they look really easy to make yourself. And I figured I would try. Because I use very little heat on my hair because it's curly. I only use like medium or low on my blow dryer. Yeah, baby! You want some more? There you go. So I figured this would be kind of a fun thing to try. Like you go to bed with like damp hair, you wrap it around this thing, and you're supposed to get like super nice curls the day after. So I'm gonna try and make one of those, and it's basically just a long tube that you fill with some stuffing. So I found this fabric that I have right here. It's just a satin fabric, so the glossy part is gonna be on the outside towards the hair. I cut two pieces that are 30 inches by 9 inches. I think that you could do with two pieces that are like 20 by 9 or 8, like it's not that precise. You can just cut something that you think will fit the length of your hair. So I'm gonna sew these two together right here, and then I'm just gonna fold it over, and yeah, obviously I'm gonna fold it right sides together and then turn it inside out. I'm gonna fold it over, sew it as a long tube, and when I've done that, we're just gonna close it, like fill it with stuffing and close it. So give me 2 seconds and I'll have that done. Okay, so I've sewn my two pieces together. So I just have one like super long piece. The way I measured this was like trying to say, okay, how long would I need? Obviously I will not need this long. Actually, I think we're gonna trim it. Just like, I'm gonna trim it just about 10 inches, just like I said in the beginning. Like you don't need that long of a piece. Okay, so there we go, just a long piece, and now I'm gonna fold it so it's right sides together. Yeah, you agree? Like this, and just sew it straight down. I'm also gonna close one ending and then fill it with stuffing and then close the other side. So we just have a long tube. What, you think I missed something? Do you want one more? Do you want one more? Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna trim off all of the excess and then stuff it. I have some normal stuffing that are usually for teddy bears, but I'm gonna stuff this one, and then we're done, and I'll show you both of the items. Okay guys, both of the items are done. Here you see my heatless curl, what do you say, tube snake? I don't know. It was quite easy to make, as you saw. When I finished the end, I just finished it up with a straight stitch as well, so I'm really happy with it. I think it would be quite nice like on my long strands, because I already have curly hair, so I know it's quite easy to shape. What I'm a little bit worried about is like waking up with like really nice long curls and then just like frizz here, but I guess we'll see. I went a little bit easy on the padding here in the middle so that you can easily attach it with like a hairpin or a bobbin or something. Yeah. And the star of the show, here is my bonnet. Here you see the finished result of the band in the front with the gathers on each side, and we have the pleats in the back that you saw me making. So yeah, here it is. But I tried it on, and when I don't have the bun, I think it's gonna be really nice. So I'll just tuck in all of my hair on the sides, and then I think I'll actually also do what Orly did and like have it like above my ears when I sleep. So I guess we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that was all for this time. I really hope you enjoyed this DIY hair stuff video, and I also hope you liked the little surprise. It was something that I just came up with when I started making the bonnet, so I figured, okay, let's put this in there. It's such an easy thing, so it wouldn't have made a whole video on its own. Yeah, comment, like, subscribe. If you comment, I promise to read it and I answer all of them, so please do. And I'll see you the next time I post.